There's other things, I think, too, and Jolene could probably speak to this because she's involved in these cases. You know, histories of you are going to move things forward, you know. I don't know if you want to mention that, but...
Sure. One of the things that, in the last case that I was involved in that was this type, a death penalty type case, one of the things that I was responsible for doing was putting together basically the history of a person for them, because they want all the information. And so in that case, that required me basically talking to everybody under the sun that I could come up with. And we know that obviously you don't want us doing that.
Right.
So if that's something that you would be amenable to do in terms of sitting down and kind of talking about
Yes.
that, and you obviously can talk about what you want to talk about. I can't force you to talk about stuff, but if you're okay with that.
If you want a timeline from the time I was 14 years old up until now, I can give you that. And if you get my filing cabinet out of Kimberly's house, if you don't already have it, there are documents in there that, you know, will back up a lot of what I say. You're not going to find much before I was in the Army, because I had a driver's license, but I wasn't even on paper really. I
Okay.
didn't have a social security number or anything. So, so that stuff, you might have a hard time verifying any of that information, but from the time I was in the Army on,
Okay.
I'll give you a timeline, you know. And like I've said before, it'd be nice to not have everybody I ever have known pulled into this, but if you have to verify certain things or talk to certain people, that's fine. Like I say, eventually I think you and your investigators are going to find you're not going to find anybody in my past, with the exception of maybe one or two Army guys, that is going to have any suspicion whatsoever that I am the other person that I am.
Well, and that's the
just
benefit.
the way it is.
That's the benefit of hearing it from you. Or if we can sit down and do that, then that alleviates me having to call all those people, because there's no need to do it if you're telling me the information.
Right.
So.
And the other thing we wanted to let you know today about our investigation is how we're moving forward with this, because you know that we have a team of people together here, and we have to move forward with this investigation. And I know how important it is to you that there's not a media frenzy, that a lot of the information is not put out in the media.
Right.
But as we're going through your records as far back as we can get them, meaning bank
computer,
accounts, credit cards, computers, everything that we can do, we're starting to put some things together. And I just want you to know that, like this Vermont thing, is once we get information, suspicion or something about a place, something that raises a question with us, we're going to have to reach out possibly to other states, things like that. And the advantage, I know you want to keep it all bundled here, so I just want to present it to you that this, like Vermont so far, we've kept this as quiet as we can do. But who knows how these other states are going to cooperate. So if we can get this information bundled all at once, kind of, rather than us finding things out a little bit at a time, that would benefit you in not having a media frenzy. Because what we don't want to happen, I don't think you want to happen, is everywhere we find something, some clue that we need followed up on, we're going to have to reach out, and that's going to create questions and things that...
All right. I understand what you're saying, but... and, of course, I can't tell you not to do that. But I will also tell you that you're not going to find anything, with the exception of what's on Kimberly's computer, that computer that was taken from the house. The other computer I used to use is somewhere in the Anchorage landfill. That's the only other thing that could possibly tie me to anything. And, you know, if you want to put out the information and talk to people I know and try and connect missing people or other felonies, whatever the case may be, to me, I can't tell you not to do that. All I can say is that unless I talk about it, you're never going to find any evidence. And the more you investigate me and the crimes that I am confessing to, you're going to find that if I wasn't talking about those, you wouldn't have much evidence. So.
And this other computer you're talking about, was it taken to the landfill in March?
No.
With the rest of it?
It was taken a few months ago.
Okay, you're talking about the downstairs or the...
or her laptop.
No, the computer. The only computer I used in Kimberly's house was the tower, the PC tower.
Yeah, okay. You said Kimberly's computer. I thought you meant maybe...
That is her computer.
No, but there was another laptop. That's
Her laptop.
Yeah.
I think I've gone on there once or twice to...
Well, you confused me because you said Kimberly's computer.
Yeah, I'm
and
sorry.
we have
No,
that.
they were both her computers. And the other computer, the computer that I had from the time that I lived in Washington, is the one that I used to use. I used to plug it in, depending on what I was searching for or what I was doing on the internet. I would plug it in and use that until a few months ago, but it went to the dump. So,
well, I think what Officer Bell is trying to say is we want to control things here. We want to give you an opportunity to control so we can continue to talk. And the different bits of information, you can't tell local agencies not to investigate. But if it happens like it was in Vermont, what we did is we had the FBI. We have the FBI, again, you've talked about a federal agency. They sent their team from FBI to control that site.
right.
If you let this to just the local Essex PD and sheriffs and those folks,
Right.
what do you think would happen?
No, that is why I gave you that, because like I say, I didn't know that house had been demolished, and I've been expecting to read a bulletin about that being found any day.
Right.
And I had a trip tentatively scheduled back there this month or next month. That was the plan,
To get rid of the bodies?
to burn the house down.
Okay. But you can, again, I told you I was going to give you be
No, I understand.
honest
Yeah,
with you.
I don't
And
want.
here's
I
what's-
don't,
you
I
know
don't
what's
want the
gonna happen.
local authorities involved anywhere, because
Well-
I know what happens. They start putting up pictures of me, and they start talking to everyone who may have seen me there, and that with the exception of Anchorage, you're not going to find anything in places where I've lived. You're not.
Are we
I
going to
don't-
find anything else here in Alaska?
No. And
No other bodies in Alaska?
no. No, you're not going to find anything near where I lived.
Right.
That was, like I say, this Anchorage was. I knew better. I was telling myself the whole time I was doing it was a bad idea. You don't do things near where you live.
All right,
You
don't
don't
talk
do
to us about
things
that.
with-
Don't talk to us about that. Okay?
About
All right.
about this.
I'm just
It's
saying.
not because-
I'm not talking about Anchorage. I'm saying anywhere where I've lived.
Yeah.
You're not going to find anything.
Right.
Because there wasn't anything.
But it sounds like you have a really good sense of what's going to unravel here with local agencies.
Here?
If we have to. Well,
No, here meaning
anywhere
in the
we
country.
have to go out to local
Your
agencies.
travel records, they follow that up. Your credit card records,
Right.
they tell you where you traveled from. They're going to put that together with.
That's going to
missing
take them
person.
years.
But they have to start.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's
They've got
not.
some
That's
ideas.
just in the United States.
Right. No, but you have to
You want
understand.
this to go international. Like I say, you could.
We
you
already
could-
we already know you've crossed the border. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, right? I mean, we know you've been.
No,
in Mexico.
I've been. Yeah, I've been.
So
like I say, if they want to do that, if they think they could find stuff on me that way, then-
It's not whether
a
they
matter of
find it or
one,
not.
We have to do that. We're obligated.
right,
to
and
do
you
that.
have to do that whether I talk or not. So I mean,
right. So do you want to control this, or do you want them to control it?
I can't control it.
You can, though,
Sure
because you controlled Vermont.
And that's what I'm trying to present to you is that you have control over whether we reach out to every place that you've
I
been.
want to control it, but I want to control it after I get what I want. I've already told you enough to get what I want.
You do understand that we don't decide on the death penalty or not.
I know.
Right.
That's why I'm saying let's grease the wheels. Let's make it easy for the people who do decide.